fucking days.
By the way, we're live.
Oh,
Hello, welcome to Apartment Theater. It's
they'll
time to get
never
intimate.
know what we're talking about.
It's time to get intimate. I mean,
Swipe
the
right
movie
on
we're
us.
talking about was kind of intimate, but not in like a sexy
That's-
way.
Uh,
I mean, part of there was one scene.
there were some weird scenes.
Yeah, there is a particular scene which is, some people would be very into that scene.
I don't want to be associated with them.
No,
Uh,
no.
So first off, welcome to Apartment Theater.
Welcome to Apartment
the
Theater.
podcast.
Yeah,
This is the 100th
It's a-
episode.
this is
Now it's like the
100th
97th one that is available, but we technically have had 100 episodes. There's just some that will be lost to time forever. Actually, there's like 7 episodes that are lost to time.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We have sat in our chairs and done this 100 times.
Yay!
That's
weird
all that
to think
matters.
about.
I know.
It is weird.
It
We
is
thought we
weird
were
to
going to
think
be done by 5, and now we're at 100.
Now we're at 100. We're going strong. Going into year 2, right? Yeah.
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 Well, we're about to go into year 3, I think. Like, I can't remember when we started.
When did we
There's-
start?
Because,
There's 52 weeks in a year.
yes, so we would have.
So yeah, we're going.
Yeah. Well, no, so we're going to be at 2 years.
Yeah, we're gonna be at 2 years. That's why I'm like 3
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
How long is a year for you?
Yeah.
Every day
Way longer.
somehow feels so short yet so long,
long.
to me.
Yeah.
So this month we're doing horror movies that came out this year, even though
Mhm.
for some reason it says that the one that we watched came out last year. Yeah, it came out this year. It might have came out in Australia in 2022, but it came out here in the States in
Oh,
23.
Yeah, it could have.
We
I was gonna
watched it,
say, I literally went to the movie theater and watched this.
So
So-
we
Mhm.
watched Talk to Me. We all watched it at different points, and we were just like, "Fuck it, let's just talk about this one," because this was probably like the most talked about horror movie so far
So-
this year.
I saw
Heh.
this movie first, and I was really excited about it. And I thought for once it's something new and different. And it took me a couple months, but finally convinced them to watch it and talk about it. So
You were like the second or third person that told me I needed to watch it, and I was like, I don't even know what this movie is that you're talking about. And then when I finally looked up what it was, I was like, oh yeah, I had this movie like pinned a long ass fucking time ago. When I saw the trailer for it, I was like, that looks dope as shit. And then immediately forgot what it was.
that's fair. I do
I
that a
just-
lot.
I just
Yeah.
figured someday I would watch it because that's how it is for any movie. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna watch it. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They
So
were-
Mhm.
Talk to Me is an Australian horror film. The
Mhm.
tagline for it is "You call, they'll answer." When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces.
Mm-hmm.
This movie fucked me up.
Yo.
If there was any movie that I unfortunately was gonna relate to, it was this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my
Ooh,
mom didn't die
yeah.
from overdose, but still, it was like, you know, when, because yeah, they basically they do like a drinking game style thing of,
Yeah.
all right, you touch this hand, you say, talk to me, and that's when a ghost appears, and you see the most
Mhm.
disgusting looking thing possible,
Yeah.
and then
it
you
starts
say,
getting-
I'll let you in, and then they take over your body for like 90 seconds.
Yeah, they possess you. It's a
and if
new
they
take
go
on a Ouija
longer
board.
than that, if they go longer than that, it becomes problematic.
Yeah.
Yes, which
So-
it does. Of course it does.
So,
Of course it does.
like,
It's,
of course
it's
it does.
the loaded gun, basically,
Mhm.
of like,
So-
yeah, of course something bad's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this film starts out with a big party, and this guy's brother, he came to pick him up because he was freaking out, and not the owner of the party, but whatever, whoever made the party was like, yo, you need to get this kid out of here. And
Mhm.
so he
Fucked
goes to
up
get him
that
out.
door too.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
has a
I was
freak
like,
out. He
Jesus
grabs
Christ,
a,
man, you're not hitting it at the right spot.
He,
Mhm.
he grabs a knife as they go through the kitchen, kill his brother, and then walks
No, the
forward.
brother
and,
didn't die. He got stabbed, but he didn't
well,
die.
he survived barely.
Yeah, because they talked to him later in the
Barely.
movie.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
And then he full
Jams it-
force
it just jams
shoves,
Just
knife
right into his
his
forehead.
face. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, man.
Yeah, what a party to be at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like what Cass was saying, I like this because I haven't seen a movie with this idea yet. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't. What it also is, they didn't give a clear background on the hand that you grab.
Yeah, it was still
Yeah.
it was vague. I was like, I think it's this, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, how do you? Then again, it's like the word of mouth thing of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, people keep passing this hand around,
Yeah.
like, oh, and then the most realistic thing from this was like it was basically like Gen Z kids
Mm-hmm.
doing this and
Yeah.
posting it on TikTok and shit. It's like, is
Mm-hmm.
it real? Is it fake? No, it's totally fake. It's not
Mm-hmm.
real. And
They
it's
treat it
basically like
like
a
a.
viral sensation.
Mm-hmm.
They also compare it almost to like a
It's almost like a
high.
drug trip. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking, that it was part of it was like a metaphor for
drugs.
Drug
doing
Yeah,
like,
abuse. Yeah.
yeah, doing Molly and
because
MDMA
like
and stuff.
they
Mm-hmm.
get really
Your eyes
excited
get
about it.
Absolutely.
real dilated and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, you,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
uh, the first guy that she sees though is creepy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the other thing too is like you grab onto this hand and you're expecting like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, and yeah, you get greeted with that. Guys, I gotta ask you, would you grab the hand and talk to it?
I would talk to something. I don't think I would let it in though.
Yeah, I would talk to. I don't like the idea of something possessing my body.
No,
As long as
and
the
because
dog
look,
doesn't try to
if
make
you
out with me.
look, if you go with actual like background of all this and like the beliefs behind it, as soon as you let one thing in, it's like a open door that they take that you can always like be let in. So doing it for the first time, it's gonna keep occurring. So like, I'll talk to you.
They did it a lot.
No.
They did it a lot
yeah.
too, and they were treating it like a drug too.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh my, because they're saying, like, oh my god, it's the best feeling you could ever have. It.
Yeah,
Once again,
they were
it's
having,
another like heroin.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very euphoric. It was amazing, but like the way the main character like describes it as being like riding passenger seat while someone else is in control of you, I'm like, that would trigger my anxiety so fucking bad. Like,
Yeah.
no, I am not okay with someone else piloting my fucking body. Absolutely not. Like,
It'd be such a
I don't care
weird
how good I
fucking
feel coming back
experience.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I would not be okay with that. Of
Mm-mm.
course, like just like any kind of drug, there's a point of where it gets abused. The fun just becomes a problem. So our main girl that I don't remember her fucking name because I watched this movie months ago.
Her name was. I just watched this last fucking night. I should know this. Well, here, I'll just pull. I had it pulled up and was like, why do I have it pulled up still? So Mia is the main character.
Mia,
Jade
okay.
is her friend, and then Riley is Jade's brother,
Yeah.
That-
and then Daniel
poor
is
kid.
Jade's boyfriend. Sue is Jade's mom, and then there's
Okay.
some side characters and stuff.
Okay,
Mhm.
there we
too.
go. I brought it. Okay, I have it now. So our main chick, Mia, the mother likes but doesn't like at the same time. She has mixed feelings about it.
Mhm.
Sue is very protective of her kids. She's kind of
Overprotective.
overbearing. Yeah,
I love that mom,
don't-
actually.
I don't know if we find out what happens to the husband or if he left or something that caused her to be like extremely overbearing of her kids and very protective of them. Because
I mean,
there's some parents that are like that, but I feel like that is like was triggered more. But so the mother has a love hate for Mia because she lets Mia pretty
Mhm.
much live in the house, but at the
Yeah.
same time, she is very judgmental of Mia and just assumes that if something's going wrong, that Mia's the cause of it. Riley, the younger brother, loves Mia. He is able to talk to her really easily, and I think it's more because Mia has a very if she wasn't involved in drugs, she's a good person, and she's very
I
hurt right now by
I
being so
figured
close
that
to her mother that killed herself.
Riley treats her like a sister that he
Yeah,
actually wants.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a big sister kind of thing.
Jade is like, they're in that age group. Jade and Riley were Jade's high school, and wants nothing to do with her brother because it's not cool to be friends with your little brother. And he's, he wants a big sibling. Again, Mia's pretty much like the big sibling to him. But again, Mia is a very like sweethearted person, but is just wrapped up in a lot of fucked up shit and has something very traumatic that she has yet to really be able to process and handle. Which is the death of her mother, which plays into the rest of the movie of just like other drugs. Jade was at the quote unquote parties that they're doing this, and they try to pressure Jade. She refuses to do it. Her boyfriend does it, and
Makes
then
out with a dog.
yeah, and then slowly but surely they are trying to pressure Riley into doing it, and Jade, even though she's a dick to him,
No,
will not let him.
No, they didn't
him.
pressure him. Like, nobody wanted him to do it. He wanted to do it.
Yeah, he
He's
wanted
like,
to do it.
I want to do it.
Yeah, and then Mia was like,
Okay,
Mia was the
Yeah.
one that was convincing them to be like, no, he should try it. Like, we
Yeah,
can
he should be able to do it.
50
Like, we're all here.
seconds.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets really bad when Riley stays in for too long because Mia, they talk to Mia's mom through the spirit realm, and that's what lets her in. And she just wants to talk to her mom because no matter what, whenever your parent dies, you will always have something that just is never resolved. You want to tell them so many things, and that's what was happening to her. She had it's not really like, it's selfish because she put Riley's life in danger.
Yeah.
I get where she's coming from for wanting, because like you don't want that connection you don't want to lose it again because her mom died from an overdose. And honestly, man, if someone was doing this shit and they were talking to my mom, I would also be like, well, hold on, don't let go.
Yeah.
Like, I still need to tell you things. There's so much happening right now.
Yeah.
Mom, I gotta tell you about this person I met. No, I'm just kidding.
I gotta tell you about this Bumble date.
It's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
but yeah,
I think
Riley.
you're perfect in this. Well, not perfect for the situation because what happened to you is fucked up. But you're able to give a perspective that me and Cass are just gonna have a hard time seeing of losing a parent.
I mean,
Hold
yes,
on.
but
no.
I'm like, I still.
Yeah,
because
Cass has an experience too.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking, okay, Cass. The reason I didn't think about that.
Well, and the funny
is
thing
because
is, go for it.
I'm saying parents.
Yeah, you're saying parents. You're not.
Right,
Yeah.
but the whole like talking to the dead thing and stuff, though, that still applies.
Yeah.
I loved how hopeless this movie felt.
Yes.
And I know that's so.
Yes.
That's just so me to say that about a movie that's depressing. Like, I love depressing movies. I don't know what it is. If I recommend you a movie, it's either a horror movie or something sad.
Look, the thing is, the movie's making you feel something, though.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, part of like the whole like the drug aspect of it too. I felt like it also had a like schizophrenia feel to it, because
I was thinking more psychosis.
Yeah, well,
which I guess schizophrenia is psychosis.
It's because she's listening to these voices that she thinks are real. She's like, no, this still has a connection to me, but in actuality, it doesn't.
It's like her psyche is breaking. Yeah.
Let's go with Riley. Stays in too long, obviously, because she wants to talk to her, and he gets fucked up.
He smashes his face into the wall. He almost dies.
He then starts smashing it on a desk, and
dude, the part where he's about to rip his fucking eyeball out, I was like,
yeah.
oh god.
Yeah. his sister
Mhm.
putting her hand in the way to stop him from hitting it, and she gets her hand broken because
Mhm.
of that.
Yeah.
Like
I felt
that's
like
how
that.
hard he was hitting his head.
I felt
Mhm.
like that was a good point too to be like, okay, I know that she was being shitty to her brother, but she does actually care about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah, because like it's in that like time frame. When I was in high school, me and my brother fought all the fucking time because I was the
Mhm.
little sister, and I always followed him around because I wanted to see my big brother, and he would give me a lot of shit. But then when I had a problem, he stepped in and was like, "No, no, don't,"
Mhm.
and
my brother and
so
I fought all the time in like high school days. And then yeah, my older sister, like I kind of related to the dynamic a little bit of the sister and the brother thing in this
Mhm.
movie too, because my older sister, I mean, she's 8 years older than me, and she has actually been a very positive force in my life, and I don't feel like I give her enough credit for it. But I know this is a side tangent, but whatever. Um, I got bullied a lot in school, and people told me that I was ugly, and so I told her, "It's like, yeah, I'm just an ugly guy," and she was like, "Never ever let anyone tell you that you are ugly. You are not ugly, and they're terrible forever thinking to
Mhm.
convince you of that." And that meant a lot.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, this is like my family member talking to me, like, and I looked up to my sister too, so she's she can be really fucking dumb sometimes, but I mean, so can I, so
yeah. So like it's like even though sometimes it seems like your family doesn't care, don't get me wrong, there are times where like it is like that. I'm not saying every single time, but that they feel they don't care, they do care. Some
I would
people also don't know
say
how to express themselves. That's
I would
another
Yeah.
say
thing.
when, and I'm sure Cass understands this too, but like when a family member dies that's really close to you, I feel like that's
Mhm.
really like when your family gets the closest to each other, to just make sure that everyone is okay.
Yeah.
And
I don't
yeah, that
know.
was
Me and
definitely
my
the most.
sister fought like crazy.
That's yeah. Well, I mean, okay, I still
It
fought
was
with them.
it was really weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Anyway.
you guys are now pretty
Yeah,
close
now we're
now.
really close. Like we got a
well,
lot
cause
closer when she was in like high school and stuff. But
yeah,
yeah. Stop.
Um
and now she's fully figured out herself too. Is that Gomez?
Yeah.
no,
You look,
go me. I love
he
that
looks
cat.
so dumb right now. Look at his little face.
Oh, I love him.
Did he just make
Um
like a little meh?
Mhm.
so one thing about this movie that does get talked about is that eventually, if you do this thing way too much, you start seeing and hearing ghosts a lot, and that's what ended up
I
making
don't
the
think it
guy
was
in the
because
beginning
she
go
did
nights.
I don't think she did it too
No,
much.
it's
It's because she touched Riley's hand while he was connected, and so it opened a door into her, which was already opened, and then the candle didn't get blown out in time,
yeah.
No,
and so she just
they say about it at one point. The brother, that's why he ended up going in. The brother in the beginning ended up going insane was because he was doing it way too much, which
Well,
caused
I
these
think he
things
stayed
to.
in too long too, just like
mm-hmm.
how Riley did. So
Yeah, because
Poor
then
Riley, he was such a
yeah,
sweet character.
because she ends up taking the hand and like doing the ritual and has no way of like separating herself from it, or like
yeah.
someone else separating
So
her.
I think it was too of just something that she wanted this avenue to. It's similar to her mom, you know, or her
Mm-hmm.
mom committed suicide, and she wanted something to validate her
Yeah.
in her feelings, because she, you know, because the hand brings out like these really deep dark feelings that
Mm-hmm.
you have. And when she's talking to what she thinks is her mom, but you know, this, it's like, oh, this thing actually manipulates you, and you're not actually talking to them, you're talking to the thing that like you want to be seeing, or like
So when the ghosts are
they couldn't
inside
figure out
you,
what exactly it was doing. Like it was a spirit that like had
So
its own thing, but yeah, it was fucking up Mia to the point where she was believing in this thing. And I think that whenever you're dealing with trauma,
Mm-hmm.
whenever something gives you that outlet,
Yep.
it will just take over your brain. And then you think you're seeing shadow people. You think you're like, you just go, if you don't get that shit under control, you will lose yourself. And that was the other thing too, is that I felt like this was another one where, or this movie was about how if you do not deal with the mental stress that you have, the mental
Mm-hmm.
traumas that you have, and if you do not process them correctly, it will, because you see it with Mia interacting with all of her friends and stuff, it destroys every single thing around her
Yep.
because she couldn't process this trauma, which is fair because it is very traumatic, but
so
she didn't take the correct route. She did something that she shouldn't have done in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And
here's also the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if the ghost that was like quote unquote was the mother was actually a mother. So one thing that does get said by somebody, I forget who, it does come up that once a ghost gets in, it can start seeing who you are and what's on your
Mm-hmm.
mind, and will purposely start becoming that so they have a better chance of, coming into the real
Mm-hmm.
world or getting a body again.
right,
So
yeah, like that's what I was saying.
um,
Yeah.
so we don't even know if this ghost that was her quote unquote mother was actually her quote unquote mother.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying too, was
Yeah.
that
Um.
she
So
was getting manipulated. I think what happened was like, yeah, like it opened the door, but that was like the one thing that last domino that needed to fall for her to completely fall into this narrative. She ends up killing her dad because
no,
the
the
this
dad lives.
well, okay, she stabs her dad, but she basically is like convincing herself that her dad actually killed her mom and that wasn't an overdose, and he's actually lying to her. And that's where I was thinking the schizophrenia thing was coming in, was like just
Well,
hearing the voices of all these things.
she also realized too that and started a fight that her father didn't do anything, and she was fighting the ghost, and she does say it at one point, like, no, my dad would not do that, you're lying to me, like all of this is a lie. And she starts fighting that ghost, and that's when the ghost like purposely was doing that, and the father came in to try to help, and that's when he accidentally got stabbed because she was looking to stab the ghost that was attacking her, and
Mm-hmm.
it perfectly led into getting the locks the door, starts attacking her to freak out to that point, and then lets the door be unlocked so the father would come in there, and the father would get stabbed instead of the quote unquote ghost getting stabbed. Um, we're skipping over a lot of like crap in this
Yeah, I
movie
mean,
though.
like I
Yeah.
So
don't. Yeah, I
there's
know, but like I don't want to give
too
too
much
much.
away.
This
Mm.
this is
I
one of
won't
those
talk
movies.
about the ending then.
I This is one of those
But
movies
the
that
ending
we
is what
have
I want to
watched.
talk about.
Yeah.
The, this is one of the movies that we have watched now where I'm like,
Mm.
I cannot believe that we watched something that was good, like
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
See,
I
I
had
told you
some
guys.
no. I was gonna trust me, I was gonna watch this movie, but I am just so happy to watch something that wasn't shitty for once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That we're not
Um,
even trying to find shitty. We're just trying to find things that people just like. We're just trying to find whatever fits in the random ass
like,
themes
here's
we
the thing.
do.
I'm gonna talk to you guys about the ending, so this is what I'm gonna do. If you don't want to know the ending and you want to watch for yourself and you don't want to know the ending, stop listening here.
Yeah.
Watch the movie.
Don't
Aren't we
listen.
streaming this?
And then
Yeah.
come.
Go watch something else.
Go watch something else. Go watch the movie, and then come back, listen to it on Spotify, or when this episode gets loaded into YouTube, because it takes like a little bit to
Danny,
process.
you're gonna be really pissed. I just realized something.
Mm-mm.
Were you recording?
I'm not recording, but
Oh my gosh.
but see, Cass is though. So she streams
Oh.
it. So you'll just have to download the episode.
It's
off of
such a
YouTube.
bitch to get off YouTube, but okay.
It's not, No, what? You just hit download.
Getting it onto my phone is where I have to get it.
That's where your
Okay,
problem
whatever.
lies.
Fuck off. Okay, so right now, the point
That
being
sounds like a you
is
problem.
I want to talk about the ending. So if you want to watch this movie and not hear about the ending, stop listening to us right now. Go
And
watch
then come
it,
back after
and
you
then
watch
come
it.
back and listen to our opinions on the ending. So I love this ending. Like, oh my god. I don't know though if the sister pushes her into the traffic or if she finally realizes
She jumps
this is
in.
not okay and she jumps in.
She jumps in.
She jumps in.
She commits suicide.
Yeah.
Because there's
Just
like
like her mom.
two different
different
perspectives.
style, but yeah.
I think she jumps in.
The reason because I saw some people talk why they think the sister pushed her is because it looks like one of the ghosts pushed her, so they're thinking that's what comes off as the sister pushing her. But yeah, no, she does realize before she pushes Riley into the road that this is not okay and jumps in.
That's our assumption that she realizes that she's being like lied to and manipulated.
She is told that the best way to get the brother to be taken out of this torture, because he is in a coma at the moment, but he's actually being tortured by other ghosts.
He wasn't even in a coma. He was just beat the fuck up. Like he was conscious. Like
yeah, beat the fuck up is
he was in and out of consciousness, I think.
But yeah, but like he wasn't in a coma though. Like he would still like he still like moved around and stuff.
Well, oh yeah, and he starts to try to kill himself again.
Yeah, he does it like twice.
I also like when the sister's trying to figure out how to save him. Not the sister. Mia's trying to figure out how to save him. She talks to a ghost, and the ghost lets her in. I thought that was extremely interesting, and that freaked her out because she saw some fucked up shit. And
some like real Event Horizon shit. So what the fuck am I? I mean, it's
real
not that
tortured
graphic,
soul shit. Yeah.
But it was like, oh no.
So, she is slowly getting convinced by these other ghosts that she needs to kill Riley to save him from being tortured, which makes sense to the like everything that's going on. She ends up jumping into the traffic, like we were saying, and she gets up from that, and it's not like you know that she definitely just died, but it doesn't give you that direct sense like that she died. The next thing you see is she's in the hospital and she's excited to see that Riley's finally okay, which the brother, they spoke and found the brother, and he said just let its course go through, they will eventually leave his body alone. But you have to let the course go through, but they will slowly leave his body alone. And then she's being convinced by the ghost that she needs to kill him. But she now sees Riley sitting on the bed, fine, talking to his sister and mother, and then she sees her father walk out of the room and walk into an elevator that's like white, and he goes down the elevator or whatever, or up the elevator, whatever the fuck happens.
He goes into an elevator and the lights turn out. That's it.
Yeah,
like,
and the lights pitch black out, and then next thing you know, she walks up to these people that are now doing the talk to me thing, and now she is the ghost, and they freak out because they see her sitting there, which I thought was such a nice, smooth like way into like how they did that now she is quite obviously dead, but now she is in purgatory in the sense.
She's stuck in limbo.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Well, and purgatory.
Yeah, so
is purgatory and limbo two different things?
I think they're two different words for the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know, because I feel like purgatory is more like your soul's being tortured, and limbo is
just hanging
stuck.
out.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they're kind of tortured.
It was her mother's ghost because she committed suicide. and so suicides usually
Okay.
don't get to go anywhere. They get stuck in either purgatory or limbo, and they end up being, you know, tortured souls basically.
Yeah.
And so it's part of that cycle, of creating more tortured souls basically is what this hand is doing. And
I think
so
that
since it
hand-
like got into her and was like, oh, there's a soul here, you know, let's find it, like, and
I like
ended
that
up
idea.
and because we have no idea the passage of time, which is what I loved about the ending, because clearly Riley would have taken several weeks to heal before he was released from the hospital, and he's walking away and she's like, oh, you're leaving, like as if, you know, her getting hit by the car and him leaving happened in the same day, when like
Well,
clearly that's
not
not
just that.
would have
The-
happened.
The father got stabbed with
In his fucking neck.
scissors in his neck, and obviously
That
bleeding
would have
to
taken,
death.
that would have taken a long
the-
time to heal.
The sister finds the father, and that's definitely how the father survives.
Yeah.
But and when they're doing the new talk to me thing, they're speaking in, I don't know,
I think it's
in
Spanish.
Spanish. So
I
obviously
think.
that
Definitely-
hand.
Yeah.
It's definitely Spanish.
So that hand had to like travel
It
to
traveled.
like another country, which is
Or-
far.
Or does it mean there's more than one?
So funny
Oh
you
yeah,
mentioned
there
that.
is 2 hands on a person.
There's 2 hands on a person.
There's a Talk to Me coming out, like Talk to Me.
Mhm.
That's gonna happen.
There's the second
Oh.
one.
They're also, and they're doing a prequel as well, which
Ooh,
I'm
so
like,
we might get maybe a little bit more lore behind the hand, maybe.
Yeah, like-
But I don't know
Which
if I like
I'm not-
that.
I
Yeah,
don't-
I like the
I don't want-
ambiguous
I
about
don't
the
want this
hands.
to be a franchise. I want it to
Mhm.
just be its
I
own
yeah.
thing.
I think
I-
I would
I
like it
wouldn't
more if it
mind-
was just its own thing.
I wouldn't mind a Talk to Me 2 if it stays the same sense of we don't really know if these hands, like,
Mhm.
because they were saying it's a priest, then they were saying it was a satanic worshiper.
Somebody said it was a
um,
medium, or
a
like
medium?
yeah,
And
like
So,
they have no idea where this
I-
hand came from.
I don't want a prequel because I like the
Oh.
idea of not knowing where the fuck this hand came from. But I wouldn't mind one more, as long as it's one more.
I just,
I don't know, I think
horror
they're gonna fuck it
sequels
up.
Just like, I can't think of many horror sequels that are good.
Yeah,
That's fair.
especially prequels that give us like background on it. Like you
Yeah.
really don't need to explain this
If
to
I
us.
am,
Like it's just a fucked up Ouija board. That's fine. Like let
That's
it
why
be that.
I would not watch a prequel. I would probably watch it too, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't watch the prequel because I
It
I
is
do
being
not wanna
directed
know
by
what-
the same directors though,
Mhm.
so I
Okay,
mean,
so that can
that
be-
gives me a little more hope of like,
Mhm.
okay, hopefully they know where they want to go with it,
Yeah.
but
like, I mean, for all we know, they could have planned out a prequel and a second one at
Mhm.
the same time they made this first one.
they're
Yeah.
also going to be directing this a Street Fighter movie.
Interesting jump in course there.
Ooh.
Yeah,
But,
that's yeah. I mean, but yeah. So
I,
these movies, they're not in like production, or they're in production, but they're not like nothing is going on just yet because I mean
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah.
You know, also to piggyback off what Cass said with the mother suicide,
Mm.
Mia did explain multiple times how close she was to her mother and how
Yeah.
her mother was her best friend and that they were
Mhm.
so close. The mother being in a purgatory sense and being alone,
Mhm.
she could convince her sister, her daughter to commit suicide to
Yeah.
then be
Well,
with her in purgatory.
So that was the other thing too, is that all the people they talked to are people that committed suicide,
Yeah.
like every
Or,
single one of them.
Or
Mhm.
demonic ghosts.
Well, no, like every single one of them, they all died from suicide. Like one of them was like a guy covered in water because he drowned himself. And then, yeah,
What
like
about
there's
the one that sucks on toes?
Oh yeah, the old person.
Yeah, that was
in the
something.
like nightgown. Oh.
Yeah.
You
that
know
was
what I
something.
talked about the entire
I'm
almost the
thinking
entire
if
movie
any-
was I really hope that these actors got paid a lot, especially the one who was sucking on feet and have like the poor boyfriend got made out with a dog and got his foot sucked by
Twice.
2 different people.
I mean,
I'm like, I hope he got paid a lot.
I'll let Mia
Whew.
suck on my toes, but that's just, you know.
I
The actress that plays Mia is Sophie Wilde, and Sophie, if you would like my number, we're gonna put it in the link in the description. Just kidding. But no, she was very pretty. I was just like, geez,
Yeah, she was
look at her.
gorgeous. Yeah, she's a cutie.
and everyone in this movie was a fantastic actor too. I
Oh
wasn't
my god, when
disappointed with
when she
anybody.
gets possessed the first
Yeah.
time and she's looking
And
at
she's-
Riley.
Well,
Yeah,
and like that's like
oh my god.
you knew it was gonna be bad because that was almost like
They were immediately
foreshadowing.
interested. Yeah,
Was
immediately
like,
interested
oh,
in him.
he's young, it's easy, like, and just screaming like run, 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 like you shouldn't be here, like you need to leave. But that's like all the ghost can do is just run. Cause being a ghost is hard, I guess. I don't know.
That
Seems like it would be.
so I like the idea of the mother causing her daughter to commit suicide to be with her, even though she ends up not
'Cause
with
I
her
think-
at all.
I think part of it too is that when you let it in and you let it stay in too
Mhm.
long, the
It
thoughts of
wants to
suicide.
stay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thoughts of
Yeah.
suicide get more embedded into you,
Yes.
and because that's all you're. Because like once you exit out
Mhm.
when they tell you to, it leaves, and you're like, okay, I'm back to normal. But if
Mhm.
you let it stay in too long, all the thoughts that they were having are staying in. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people that she's seeing too, like I was also thinking that maybe she's seeing like other spirits still like connected that weren't just like
Mhm.
her mom's spirit, and like it could be spirits that other people were seeing at other times too. And yeah, just everything just also the movie is shot really well too.
Yeah.
Like, when
Yeah,
they have
it
that
is.
that glow on her face when she's dead, and then she's like before she's gonna like I was like,
Mhm.
this looks like it could
Mhm.
be like hung in a museum. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, there's just so many
I
cool shots in this.
I like the I wouldn't say filter, but the tones that
Yeah.
this movie was shot in was nice.
It's
The
very
lighting.
Spooky
dark
tones.
and
Mhm.
empty feeling.
Mhm.
It's just it leaves like when I finished it, I just sat there was like, wow, that one fucked me up really bad.
Mhm.
It's almost as bad as the Timothy Chalamet one. The
Oh,
um,
the cannibal
Like-
one.
yeah, why can't I remember it?
It's like something lovers.
Bones and
isn't
All.
It? Oh, bones and all. There you go.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like that. Well, I mean, that was a different depressing thing of like
Yeah.
relationships ending and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, if I would have watched this and that, I would not be in a good place.
Yeah. No.
Holy fuck, man, I would be empty. I think those are honestly like the best movies we've watched so far.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
The
it just feels good that we watched something that wasn't shit.
Mm-hmm.
as I said, yeah, I really
And
like
it
this
redeemed
movie.
Australia for me too, because we watched that shark movie and that was terrible.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the Reef.
Mm-hmm.
What a shitty movie that was.
Yeah.
One of the matches I got is from Australia, and she was giving me some Australian
Alright.
recommendations.
Oh, nice.
So I think we could do an Australia month.
Ooh.
Go down under.
A.
I mean, when you're on that, shouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that could
so
be fun.
this movie is definitely worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for
um,
sure.
Major trigger warnings, though. Definitely major trigger warnings.
Mm.
I mean, when you're watching a horror movie, just assume that something not okay is gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that this is another one of these like what I said about Bones and All, where if you're gonna get a movie with a theatrical release and it's not a superhero movie, it's
Mhm.
gonna have to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was meant to not be a horror movie and was supposed to be like a weird ambient ghost story
Mhm.
thing and dealing with the afterlife. But
Yeah.
honestly, it was very effective for what it was doing. And
Mhm.
yeah, this one will stay with me. It's definitely I'm pretty sure it's the best horror movie that came out this year, in my opinion.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
right now we're gonna watch three other movies that came out this year, but
Yeah. So far, this one's up on the list. Yeah.
so good. But yeah,
Highly, highly suggest a watch.
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like I said, we're in a really good spot for horror movies right now. We're
Mhm.
trying horror and blank. You know, we're doing the peanut butter and jellies of horror right now. Like, let's put this and this and see what we can do, and it's working out really nice. And I think that it's gonna like these past few years are definitely gonna be looked at with
Sting.
Mhm.
a lot of praise. You know, like people look at like 80s horror and they're like, oh my god, that's like peak horror. But honestly, like I think that we were only 3 years into this decade, but if it keeps going the way that it's going, like this
Mhm.
is definitely going to be one of the
Yeah.
peak eras of
Mhm.
horror, and also to validate the genre even more because it is going in a more
Yeah.
horror but this thing, and I think that it's going to attract a lot more people to actually give it a shot and go, oh, it's not just blood and guts, there are other things, there are blood and guts in this movie, but still there's more to it, and that's
Mhm.
what I want to see. I want to see the genre challenged. So
Yeah.
that was talk to me.
Mhm. Get us out of
Good
here.
movie. Give a watch.
We
Tell us
liked
where
it
we
a
are.
lot.
Blow out
And
this candle, Justin. Let's go.
all right, if you want to talk to me, we're on the social media, and if you want to let us in, then subscribe to our channel, and you can subscribe on Spotify, and you can also subscribe onto YouTube. We have like 10 subscribers, so any of them would be awesome, but if you don't, that's fine too. You know, you do you, but come by. You can watch us stream and you can say how bad our opinions are.
Mhm.
That's fine. And if you got a recommendation for a theme month, let us know in the comments or somewhere. Let out a carrier pigeon, if or a carrier crow. That crows just go straight to Cass. So
Mhm.
if you want to talk to Cass, just
Yo,
You
I had
summon
a
them.
whole tree of crows next to me today at my house, so like I had a whole murder party. It was great.
Nice.
so yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, get the fuck out. Thank you
Get the
for
fuck
100
out.
episodes. No, it's really us. We're motivating ourselves to do it,
It's
but yeah, get
fine.
out.
Here's to 100 more.
Here's to 100 more. Oh God.
Oh God.